Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our very first NCOIL one-on-one of 2024. With us here today is Kentucky Representative Sarge Pollock, Vice Chair of the NCOIL Property and Casualty Insurance Committee. Representative Pollock, thank you so much for joining us for this month's NCOIL one-on-one interview.
Well, thank you so much, Patrick. It's an honor to be on here today.
Thank you. So we'll top right in. Can you tell us how you first got involved in public service?
Well, I tell you, I've been kind of involved unofficially pretty much my whole life, just being connected there with your community and things. And an opportunity presented itself. Our representative suddenly passed away, opened up the opportunity for me to put my name on the ballot and get involved. I'd never really held an office before. And then in 2021, I got elected in a special election. And then I served my first year as a state representative of Kentucky in 2022. So this is my third session. And so I guess you can still say I'm still kind of a rookie at hand right now, but obviously getting my feet wet and jumping in all in.
That's awesome. And what issues have you been most involved in during your time in the legislature?
So here in Kentucky, we deal with a lot of different things with getting people back to work, those type of things. Whether it's bourbon industry, whether it's we passed sports betting here last year and some things. And so obviously when you think of Kentucky, you think of horse racing and bourbon and the Kentucky Wildcats. But those were some of the things. Me personally, I feel like, and my dear friend Bart Rowland was here when I first got elected. Those in the NCOIL family knows Representative Bart Rowland. And so he helped me understand, and obviously I looked to him for advice through this whole process. And so he retired as a legislator, and so I'm basically the face of insurance here in the state of Kentucky. And so we're running a lot of different bills, and so thankful for NCOIL models that we can use to bring here to the state of Kentucky. And so those are a lot of the issues that we're dealing with this upcoming session right now. We've got several bills. One is the delivery network bill that we got modeled and passed through NCOIL this past year. And so just some work comp, just some different type of bills that are coming through. So excited about that, to be the one carrying the ball for our insurance industry here in the state of Kentucky.
Kentucky is definitely one of our strongest states sending legislators, so that's a lot of thanks to you, Representative Rowland, and the whole delegation there. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely. You think about the history with NCOIL and in Kentucky. Joe Fisher was one certainly involved, and then here comes Bart Rowland, Rachel Roberts. Just again, she's one that's very active in NCOIL. And then myself now being just super excited to serve on the executive committee. And then obviously got appointed as vice chair for property and casualty committee. So I'm super excited to be a part of what NCOIL is all about.
Well, we're definitely it's great to have you with us. And so you also have an insurance background too.
I do.
You're a licensed agent. Is there one kind of line that you specialize in or that you've worked on throughout your career?
So, Patrick, I've been in it 22 years as a full licensed agent. We are a small mom and pop, locally independent agency. And so we cater toward the small business owners. Property and the casualty side of things is kind of our meat and potatoes. I'm also licensed with life and health as well. Obviously, the health industry insurance is totally another different animal. So we've kind of got the experts involved in that part of our agency. And so my main focus is property and casualty and life insurance. So it's been good to represent all the different companies as an independent agency. So just feel like it's an honor to be there to serve our community and their insurance needs over the years.
So you've been in the insurance industry for a very long time, and then you've been in the legislature for a few years now. How does your deep insurance background kind of impact how you work on insurance-related issues on the legislature?
Well, no doubt. I mean, just the experience alone. A lot of times people hear the word insurance, they don't want to be involved. The only thing they want to know is, are they covered whenever there's a claim? And so it's my responsibility, not only in our community and being an insurance agent, but also here in the capital here in Kentucky, to be able to answer those questions and stuff. It's important to me to work with our Department of Insurance Commissioner, Sharon Clark. And so those are some of the things, again, people come to me and ask specific questions on the, again, for the example of delivery network. Why do we have to have a bill? Well, specifically for that particular, there's gaps in coverage. And so we have to clean that up just to make sure that we're protecting everybody involved. And so it's important that you've got that experience and you know what you're talking about. So you can bring some, meat and potatoes, so to speak, to the discussion of these issues and topics.
Nice. So it's definitely an interesting life being an elected public official. Has that kind of made an impact with your family? How does that kind of dynamic work?
Well, obviously, like I said, technically and officially, I've been in this position for now going on my third year. Again, it does affect the family. It's a big commitment. It's something that I don't take lightly whatsoever. Being involved here, at this community, going to the different meetings, chamber meetings, Farm Bureau meetings, and things like that locally. Then, obviously the commitments here in Frankfort. But more importantly, I think if you really want to do it right and represent, your community, your state, you get involved at the national level. And NCOIL is a huge part of that in helping me, again, bring good model legislation back to the state, tweaking it, fixing it that it fits for Kentucky. So it's a win-win for me. And I certainly appreciate the opportunity to serve.
That's great. So how did you first hear about NCOIL? I'm sure it was probably through your Kentucky connections. And can you kind of just go through the process of how you kind of got involved?
Sure. So when I got elected in my special election, I came in on 2022, my first session, and it was redistricting happening, budget. It was a huge session for me. And again, Representative Bart Rowland, who was involved, Joe Fisher at the time was here, leadership here basically said, hey, we need to get you involved. Who knows when Bart will take off and go home on us. No, and so I got involved the very first opportunity I could be, and I've not missed one since. And so, we can, I've been to a lot of different conferences, Patrick, and NCOIL truly is, brings a lot of things to the table, really good discussions from all sorts of parties involved. And that's what's so key about it. It's a roundtable discussion on different issues that we're talking about, not only in Kentucky, Indiana, California, all across our country. And so it's really good and healthy to have discussions and talk about what we're dealing with across our country.
It's great. So you definitely hit the ground running once you started coming to NCOIL meetings. Like you said, haven't really missed a meeting on the executive committee, in our committee leadership now. Like you said, engaging with legislators from all across the country. Is there any advice you would give to any legislators, either newly elected or newly on the insurance committee, to encourage them to get involved?
Well, absolutely. Like you mentioned it, Patrick, get involved. I mean, it takes a commitment. Either you're in or you're out. And so when you're in, you're involved, you go, and then initially just meet up, the networking opportunities at our conference. Not only, you meet other legislators, you meet other professions, you meet other, the different insurance organizations. So again, there's a lot of different moving parts that are coming to our conference. And as a young legislator, it is really, truly an opportunity to grow. And then again, just to kind of meet and greet. I'm a face-to-face person. I love the Zoom because you and I are sitting here, you know what I mean? And so those conferences that's the big part of it. And then again, once we have our schedule, and then each topic and each committee is coming, and you know what's going on. And then again, that's where those healthy conversations and debates come from. And it's exciting. It really is. And it's a way to grow in your in what you're doing, and how whether you're a legislator, whether you're a professional organization that's coming there, whether it's an insurance company. So it's just a great tool to use to get yourself prepared for me personally next session, and just again having those connections across the country with different legislators and making it us making good bills, and that's the bottom line.
That's great to hear. So, looking forward to 2024, are there any issues you want to see any of the policy committees take on?
Well, we've talked about public adjusters is one that we've talked about the last couple of sessions. Really love to see what we can come up and finalize in that particular discussion. And again, Patrick, I'm going to talk a little bit more about property and casualty because that's kind of where I'm in. You know, one of the things we're dealing with here is glass companies coming to Kentucky, and you know the assignment of benefits and some things that are kind of going on there might be a topic we need to discuss coming up this upcoming next session. Again, there's some things that we just want to make sure that we're protecting the consumer, the insurance companies, and all involved. And so those are type of things that we're looking at that I see personally. But yeah, the public adjusters deal is something there. Again, we passed a delivery network. I'm running a sponsoring a bill here in Kentucky that I feel like we're going to run through here in the next week or two. And so that's what we're talking about. You know, when I say about NCOIL, those models, things like I said here in Kentucky, we've got, some glass issue and during the claims, we got to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We may be the only state, but that's again a conversation we can have at our next session, which is in Nashville here in April. And so those are some, we start conversations and how we get things done.
There's certainly no shortage of insurance issues to be discussed, I'm sure, right?
That's so true. So true.
So obviously, there's a lot of benefits to legislators coming together and having those discussions. Kind of like on your more business side, do you see benefits for industry and consumer representatives to be there and be part of the conversation as well?
Now, I'm going to be a little bit selfish here, but me as a legislator, again, I get to go to an NCOIL conference and I see different organizations that are supporting the insurance industry. I see insurance company, different representatives. It's all in one location, and we can have all these different, discussions and things. And so it's important again for there. I'll give you an example. I've got a dear friend now is representing an organization, and he goes, what do I need to do? I said, you need to go to NCOIL. You need to go to NCOIL. You need to get involved. And so I think we got us a new member, Patrick, coming in April.
There you go. That's what we like to hear.
That's right. And so, but seriously, those are some things that we present and we offer at these conferences for people to come again and get feedback and open conversations back and forth. And again, you got your legislators, you got your insurance industry, you got your professional organization. So I mean, you got all three of us. I may be leaving somebody out, but I think I've hit all three parties there that come together in one location, and that's why we get good things done and we have those really good conversations to provide healthy insurance markets. And the bottom line is to protect our consumers, and meet their needs.
That's great. So as we've discussed, Kentucky has had a very rich history here at NCOIL. Representative Bart Rowland was, very results-driven committee chair. Joe Fisher was in line to be NCOIL president one day. We have an active delegation. Do you ever see yourself continuing in their footsteps down the line?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel honored right now. This is my third session, as a legislator, and leadership in NCOIL invited me to be involved at the executive committee. And in I got the phone call from president asking me to serve as the vice chair of property and casualty. So I'm honored to serve in this capacity and this leadership at NCOIL, making it the best it possibly can be. And so, and just moving on and doing great things.
That's great. We're honored to have you. So moving forward or to kind of a different topic, based on your service in Kentucky, have you seen partisanship impacting insurance issues as much as we've kind of seen with like other issues and other legislative bodies around the country? Or is it a little bit more bipartisan?
I think it's just strictly, we call it here, insurance is insurance. I mean, and so again, we work together here to make it what's best. I don't see any partisanship here in the insurance here in the state of Kentucky. I don't see it at NCOIL either. I mean, as far as that goes, again, it's I couldn't tell you what party is who for the most part when I go to an NCOIL, and that's really good. I mean, in this society that we're living in, it's obviously what the first question is what side you on. And at NCOIL, that's really truly for me an experience I've been at. It's not, I don't see it, don't feel it. It's just people coming together for one goal, and that is to make our insurance, markets better, healthy, and so, but no, I don't feel it, don't see it in the insurance. Now, we can go in other areas and topics and things, absolutely. But for the insurance, and that's what I love about our insurance, I think everybody can agree on, what's going on in our industry.
That's great. So naturally, we've discussed some of the positive things about NCOIL, but of course, there's always ways we want to improve, do better. How would you like to see the organization change or grow in the years to come?
Well, like I said, I've been to a few of them now and kind of got the feel of and it's basically the same agenda. I'll be honest with you, and I'm kind of a one who would tell you, but by Friday afternoon, when we're there from early on all the way through, and every session and everybody is there, you get brain fog, so to speak, and so I don't know if there's any way to kind of mix it up a little bit just to keep that from happening. But now I know nobody else has that issue on a Friday afternoon after lunch. But now as we go along again, I mean, every committee is presented their issues in their particular area. I totally get that. I love the networking part, especially early on when we kick off the conference. I do think if we can find different ways of just, again, having those times where we can communicate and talk about different topics and things. Not sure where we can find it unless we had to give something up. But again, the thing about the conference is, and I've been to several different conferences outside of NCOIL. NCOIL, you get your money's worth, in my opinion. The other ones is you can go sightsee at those different cities and places, and you still can at NCOIL, but you obviously, if you want to get something out of the conference, NCOIL presents a fantastic agenda. I just was hoping, maybe if I had one thing to say is finding a way to kind of break it up a little bit just to kind of keep our mind and brain fresh.
There you go.
Not sure I can be done, but anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
Nice, great. Appreciate the feedback. So before we let you go, I have some real hard-hitting questions for you, but they'll be quick.
Okay.
You're ready. Can you tell us your favorite all-time movie?
For the Love of the Game. That's a baseball love story, but I was a pitcher and in college, and so I love For the Love of the Game.
I haven't seen that one, but I'll add it to my list. Favorite all-time food?
Ribeye steak.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. Favorite all-time book or author?
Author John Maxwell. Awesome book.
All-time song or musical artist?
Kiss.
Nice.
Rock and roll all night, Patrick. Love that song.
Favorite all-time TV show?
Andy Griffith Show.
Nice. And last one, 3 dinner party guests, living or dead.
Wow. This is the toughest one. I told you this. 3 dinner party guests. I'm kind of all over the place, but my grandmother would be one of them. She practically raised me, and I would want her to cook the dinner because she was a fantastic cook. Love her, miss her so much. John Maxwell is another one. He has taught me so much through his books. Just any of his leadership books are amazing. Just love to spend some time with him and just hear his heart. And then the other one is I'm kind of a basketball guru, sports fanatic, but Denny Crum is my all-time favorite coach. He was a University of Louisville basketball coach that I grew up and watched win a couple of national championships. So those are my 3, Patrick.
Those are all fantastic answers. Well, this wraps up this month's NCOIL one-on-one interview with Kentucky Representative Sarge Pollock. Representative Pollock, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Look forward to seeing everybody in Nashville.